So this is by far the biggest problem that I see coaches and consultants make in their businesses. And if you don't fix this in your business, you will soon be out of business. And we're going to break it down on the podcast today. Welcome back to the Believers in Business podcast. I'm your host, Brian Adamson. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my faithfuls out there. Shout out to all of y'all that's been sharing this around with everybody, that's been leaving all of the beautiful sentiments. I appreciate y'all. And I couldn't do it without y'all, and I'm only doing it for y'all. So I appreciate y'all being here. But I just want to unpack this, man, because this is a chronic issue that I see in the coaching, consulting, and freelancing industry. And many are unaware of it. I see it more often than not, but I also see many business owners going out of business as a result of not fixing this issue. Okay. And the issue is this. One of the biggest mistakes that I see coaches, consultants, and freelancers make is they are selling their time when the client is buying the payoff. You're selling your time when the client is buying their payoff. So when I say that, I mean this. People aren't buying your time. People are buying the transformation that you're supposed to get with them as a result of them buying your time. And to just drive the point home a little bit more, it's just ask yourself, what is the big promise that you make to them, right? What is the thing that y'all agreed upon when y'all went on this contract together? What is the thing that they desire to get out of the transaction? Like, that's the big payoff. That's the thing that they're paying you for. And they don't care how much of your time it takes to do that. The thing that they're concerned about is if you're the expert, you should know what allotment of time is going to take to get them that payoff. Right? So I just want to paint this picture a little more clear for you. Okay. So I had an attorney recently working on a project for me. Now, for those of y'all that's out there, you know that attorneys work on what's called billable hours. Okay. So they literally bill you for their time. Okay. Other than if you put them on retainer where you got them on a monthly, that's a whole different conversation. But more often than not, they work on billable hours. They bill you for their time. Not only do they bill you for their time, they're billing you for their time inconsequential to whether or not they get you the result that you want. Okay? That's the way that's the life of an attorney. Hey, I ain't making you no promises. This is how much it's going to cost you. I may or may not be able to get it done. That's what an attorney does, right? This particular attorney did exactly that. Now, without getting into all the details of the project I had him working on, the bottom line was he was going to be able to save and or delay me having a $30,000 to a $50,000 expense, and it was going to probably cost me somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 to make it happen. No problem, right? That allows me the bandwidth and the capacity to either one, eliminate that expense, or two, to make more money in lieu of the delay of having to deal with that expense. So no brainer for me. Until you sending me all these billable hours and you don't get the result. And not only do you not get the result, but I'm almost coaching you through the process because you're not even an expert on this particular thing that you sold yourself on. That's a whole nother conversation for another pod. Okay. So I paid him, right? That's what I agreed to. At the very same time, guess what's going to happen though? Yeah, I'm not paying him no more. That's right. Yeah, I paid him this time and I'm not paying him no more. Right? So what do you think happens when you're confused like this attorney and you go out there and sell your clients your time? Oh, I'm going to give you, 10 hours on this consult. My normal range is like $300-400. I'm going to do a discount of $250, so it's only going to be $2,500, right? Until when, though? Until you don't get them the result, you got paid, and they piss. And now you no longer have that client, if they halfway intelligent. I'm not going to pay you to show me that again. If you're a coach, and you got a coaching program, and you selling them on the idea how they got 24-hour access to you through Voxer, and, that y'all could do one-on-one calls, they got your personal cell number, and then you give them a $10,000, $20,000 invoice, and they don't get the result. So the question you have to ask yourself is if I keep going out here selling my time and people aren't getting the payoff, how am I going to stay in business? And I know when I say that out loud, it sounds like a no-brainer oversimplification, but it happens every single day. And some of y'all watching this right now have been operating your business like that. You think that the transaction is good once it's agreed upon. We're not realizing the transaction is not good when it's agreed upon. The transaction is good when you deliver on your part. Now, yes, if it's a coaching program and there is some accountability on the client or the student to do certain things to get the result that they desire. Okay. But at the very same time, it's got to be that you created an environment by giving them all the tools, the resources, and the guidance to put them in position to be successful. Not just that, because I remember years ago, I had a student come to me and he was a part of this other program. Okay. I won't name names, but it was a guy who was well known at this particular time. And after he paid this guy some $15,000, the guy essentially like made him his tag along or armor bearer, right? He thought that his client was more interested in being able to hang out with him at his speaking engagements, sit on the sideline when he's getting interviewed on a TV channel. Guy was like, no, I paid you to show me how to do X, Y, Z in real estate, and you ain't done that. Right? So what I'm saying is we can never be confused about what's happening in the transaction. We can't be confused about what we selling, and we certainly can't be confused about what the client is buying. Because here's the reality. If they could spend 1 hour with you to get the result that they want, then that's what they're paying you for. The fact that you told them it's going to take 10 hours or 20 hours is them just going along with the fact that you're supposedly the expert, and based on empirical data and how many times you've done this with others, you think that this allotment of time is required in order to get them the result. That's the only reason why they're agreeing with it. I always tell people that if I could show you how to make $1 million and I got 100 videos for you to watch, or I could show you how to make $1 million and I got one video for you to watch, which one would you pick? 99.9% of people would pick the one video to get the $1 million. Why? Because nobody cares about how much work it's going to take to get it. They want to take the least path of resistance to get there. And so, obviously, y'all know, right? For those that subscribe to the channel. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do so if this is helpful. I'm passionate about this because we help coaches, consultants, and freelancers grow and scale their likeness and businesses online, like to a point of not only having 6-figure years, but 6-figure months, 6-figure days, but helping people at a large scale, right? We're showing them how to build not only lucrative businesses, but businesses that are led with the heart of a servant, that serves the client at the high level, and that illustrates to them before the transaction even begins very clearly what the payoff is. Because that's what people are buying. And I know in your mind you like, but I got Monday app, and I got, Asana, and I got Trello, and I get it. You got all of these pieces within the framework of your infrastructure. You got all these systems of how they could communicate with you, and it seems really cool. And you got a touch of AI here and there and all the stuff. And that's cool. But that's only cool if that helps get them the payoff. You're always selling them the payoff, not your processes and your pieces. The processes and your pieces is the thing that the expert determines is necessary to get them from point A to point B. But the payoff is what they're buying. I hope this was clear for y'all today. I hope this was clear. And if you know some coaches and consultants out there, please send this to them. We cannot be confused about what we're selling people. And by the way, selling people your time is putting you back in bondage. If you left corporate America because you were selling them your time for every 2 week paycheck, then going to get 40 clients and selling them your time, just think about that for a second. You're not building a business, you're building a prison. So we got to stop doing that. We do not teach our clients to do that at all. And guess what? Their clients are more than happy that they are not selling their time. They're not doing one-on-one coaching. They're doing group coaching. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. If y'all are, if you want to learn, if you are the person I described in this podcast, and you want to learn how to change that, change your business, make more money, and work less hours, click the link in the description and book a call. That's all I can tell you. Okay. Outside of that, until next time, folks.